We've done it! We've officially made it to the halfway mark of our no shopping challenge. Hi, we're the Provident Preppers. This week of our challenge has been a party.
We were camping at a family reunion and the food was amazing.
We didn't get to go and buy any of our usual snacks, but our cousins were nice enough to share theirs. Overall, this experience has taught us to appreciate the generosity of others and to be grateful for the food that we already have.
Stay tuned for the spicy dicey details.
What a great week it was. That was week 6 of our 90-day challenge. Here's our report.
First, the kids want to tell you thank you. They have gone back to school with school lunch privileges.
As the caption says, oops. Part of what we are learning in this whole process is how really valuable food is and how critical it is to use your resources wisely.
Frequently on Sundays, we'll invite our kids and our grandkids over and we'll share a meal together. And so everybody brings a little bit of something, which is great because as you can see on the counter, there's a watermelon, and that's what Jonathan's been missing. It was our granddaughter's birthday and she wanted breakfast for dinner. What you see on the floor there is what was 2 dozen eggs. Normally that wouldn't be a really big deal, but when food is really important, 2 dozen eggs can mean a lot, as we will show you a little bit later in this video. And somehow after Sunday dinner, 4 Chobani yogurts just magically appeared in the refrigerator, but nobody is accepting responsibility for those yogurts.
This is our most recent apricot harvest, and it resulted in 20 quarts of good apricot nectar, which we are totally excited about.
The other thing that's coming on is fresh green beans, and we are really excited. Add a little bit more variety to what we're eating. And Aubrey called us and asked if we would be interested in some peaches. Of course, we said yes, because our peaches haven't come on yet. So we took those peaches and we made 28 pints of peach syrup. We like the syrup at our house because we eat a lot of pancakes and waffles and things like that. And I love the different varieties of syrups that you can pour on it. And in addition, we only have a little bit of fruit pectin, and I want to reserve that for when I'm making freezer jam, since I can't go buy any more right now. So if you notice, the peach syrup is boiling in that pot, and in this method, you bring it up to a boil, and then you let it cool all the way down, and then you bring it up to a boil and let it cool down again. And that helps to thicken the syrup or the jam. So if you want to make jam, you do that 5 times, 5 or 6, depending on how thick you like it. But we only did it a couple of times because I really like the texture of being able to pour it over.
This is a pot of my steel-cut oats with apples and cinnamon. This is always a hit for breakfast, and then we use the leftovers for other things.
Like in this piece of bread here. So John makes the steel-cut oats the morning before, and then the next time I make bread, I just add that hot cereal into whatever bread I'm making to provide nutrition and texture and to make sure that we're not wasting anything. And this bread was really unique. I wanted to experiment. This is a natural yeast or a sourdough cinnamon sugar bread. However, I added a can of pineapple and some cut up ginger, and it was a really different, unique flavor. And then on the side there, you see that we served that with sauteed vegetables from our garden with eggs. It was really good.
We are truly blessed to have great friends.
And 2 of them got wind of the fact that we were going to be up camping and that we weren't buying any treats. So they brought up some Twizzlers and Butter Rum Lifesavers so that the girls would have plenty of junk food while they were there. Now, the bag of Twizzlers didn't even make it long enough for me to take a picture because all the kids attacked it, but this did. So thank you, Don and Jeanette. I have to confess that our diet is starting to get to me, and I was really cranky earlier this week. And I have my dear friend who, when I was talking to her on the phone, she said, look, I have chocolate and I have steak. What would you like? And I actually chose the steak. Her husband here provided us with a couple of good steaks because we haven't had anything like that in a little while. Can you believe I chose steak over chocolate?
That's crazy.
That's crazy. I am making a lot of bread, and this is just plain homemade cinnamon bread that the next morning was turned into a delicious French toast. And to make sure it didn't go to waste, Benjamin chose to take that French toast to lunch because the lines at school, beginning of school, the lunch lines are way too long and he didn't want to stand in them. So this is his lunch, is French toast, and he was very happy with it.
As we mentioned up front when we started this challenge, we did have our family reunion this week, and we were responsible for feeding breakfast to 70 people.
And there is this unspoken contest that goes on to see who can create the best meals. And, well, I have quite the spirit of competition. And I was really concerned that not being able to go to the store was going to affect my reputation. So at the onset of the challenge, we had decided that it was going to be okay for us to go to the store and get what we needed because we needed to feed 70 people. And that is really out of the norm. As we designed the menu, we really considered what we could possibly make at home. And the only things that we had to buy were Greek yogurt, whipped cream, frozen blueberries, and eggs. And yet we were able to provide this fantastic meal for all these people. Our friends, Marlon and Jennifer, were in charge of the crepes, and they did a fantastic job. And Jennifer made this delicious Alfredo sauce to put on the savory crepes. Then we have the potatoes, which were all made out of dehydrated potatoes. They were so good. And yet those potatoes, 8 to 10 years old, John, they've been sitting in our storage for a while, and they were still absolutely delicious. And I didn't have any concerns with feeding them to other people and thinking that they weren't real. Nobody even noticed. And we have the scrambled eggs, and we'll talk about how I got that ham in just a minute, and all of the other delicious things that went on top of there. And we probably wouldn't have had to buy any eggs at all if we hadn't have had that little accident on Sunday. I received a phone call this week from one of my friends who's in a college class, and she had to do a project on emergency preparedness. And her husband dropped by to do a little consult with us. And we had a great time. And Jonathan just happened to be at Costco trying to buy the other foods and call me while I was talking to them. And they heard me tell him that we needed to get the ham. And they said, no, you don't have to buy ham. In exchange for doing this consult with us, we will give you a ham from one of the pigs that we just slaughtered. And we were kind of really excited. And they had already brought us over the duck eggs. And so with that ham, the waste not, want not, right? It's really important to us now that we utilize everything. And normally I am not as careful. I should be, but I'm not. So when I cut up that ham, you'll see the ham hock or bones that I put into the freezer so that I can pull it out and use it one of the next times when I cook beans. The cubes of ham in the center were used with the scrambled eggs that we served with the crepes up there for all 70 of those people. And then over on the left-hand side, I usually don't save the fat. But this time, because all of this is so precious to us, I took little snack bags and I put the fat and the little chunks of ham that were left into these little bags. And the plan is I will take them out and saute those when I'm making beans when you want that bacon flavor, because we don't have any bacon.
I think we live in a very spoiled environment, most of us. It's very easy just to toss things away. Our forebears didn't have that luxury, and they were more careful, and perhaps we should learn to be a little more careful also. Here are some resources that we hope that you will take a look at. The first one there, the Provident Prepper, Raising Confident, Self-Reliant Kid Preppers, 14 Essential Skills.
That's a great post, and there's a video on that too. It's really good.
Yes. Also, Super Survival Sprouts, Powerful Nutrition from Your Stored Wheat. The 90-Day Challenge, Survive Solely on Food Storage and Garden. Please take a look at these, as well as our video resources on our YouTube channel, and everything that we have available for you on theprovidentprepper.org.
Yep, we've made it halfway through our no shopping nightmare. A huge thanks to our mysterious yogurt donor and all of our crazy cousins who shared their bounty.
Only 6 weeks left to go. We got this, fam.
And now for the question of the day. What are your favorite snacks made from shelf-stable basics? The bean recipes were amazing, and now our mom needs help coming up with recipes for homemade junk food. And thanks for being part of the solution.